happy 1st of December, woo woo Christmas tree.
Hi. Is anyone there?
Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is HARMONYSUXX and today I will be carrying on with my series all about Wicca, the deities, everything in between, and today this episode will be about tarot cards. The first part will be all about tarot cards, like everything I personally think you need to know about tarot cards and also the relevancy to Wicca, and the second part of the video will be a demonstration on how to use tarot cards and a few formations that I use personally. I have been using tarot cards for around 3 to 4 years now, before I even began practicing in Wicca, but I am not a professional. I do not do tarot card readings professionally. I only usually read my own tarots, and I hope it answers any questions that you guys have made or asked me about tarot cards. I really hope you guys enjoy, and I'm just going to hop right into the video. So what are tarot cards? So in case you guys weren't actually aware on what tarot cards are, they are a deck of cards that people use to either predict the future or as sort of a guided meditation. In a typical deck of tarot cards there is 78 cards, 22 being the major arcana and the other 56 being the minor arcana. So the major arcana cards are usually the cards that you see with names at the bottom, like the devil, the lovers, death, the hanged man. Them sort of cards that are mainly symbolic, and they usually have a beautiful scene on them with people on, like most of the tarot cards do. So these are the 22 tarot cards that you do tend to hear about probably the most. So these cards are represented as the long-term, strongest and extremely important to some areas of your life. For the minor arcana, they are split up into 4 suits, which is the wands, the swords, the cups and the pentacles. Some people refer to the pentacles as the coins, but I refer to them as the pentacles just because my tarot deck have the pentacles in. So each suit in the minor arcana have 14 cards. Each of them count from 1 to 10, and they also have a page, a knight, a king and a queen, and also an ace including in the 10 as well. Even though the minor arcana is very important, they are not seen as important as the major arcana are. So what are they used for, and can they tell the future? Loads of people actually ask me these questions, whether tarot cards can actually tell the future or not. So as I said in the first question, they are a sort of way to either see guidance in your future or actually be able to tell your future. That's the main reasons people do tend to use the tarot cards. There are mainly 2 types of readings. The first type of reading being a question reading, which is when you have a specific question you would like guidance with. You want a further insight in the situation, and if you need any help with the situation, you would do a question reading. There's also open readings, which are more like general readings, which people can kind of do if they've just been through a change or whether they just want a general reading in life and don't really have any specific questions to ask. Of all of the tarot cards, there is a symbol for pretty much anything any human could experience. Using tarot cards is kind of a bit of a different way to just lay everything out and kind of put it in perspective and put it in a bit of a bird's eye view. You can see it in a different way and help yourself with situations and help yourself in general and get spiritual guidance that way. But in reality, and what I believe to be correct, is that tarot cards can't actually tell your future. They are more like spiritual guidelines. They are more ways to progress and evolve with situations and life in general, rather than trying to predict exactly what's going to happen in life. You can't tell if you're going to meet your husband in a couple of days' time. You can't ask if you're going to have 3 children in your life or something. It does not work like that. But they can give extremely helpful information for the future. So basically, tarot cards are a representation of the present. They basically are telling you what the situation will be if you make no changes in your life, and more of an insight into the future rather than predicting and telling you exactly how things are going to be in the future. So in a way, yes, and in another way, no. What are tarot cards used for in Wicca? Wiccans can use tarot cards for an awful lot of things. They can use them for a guided meditation, divination and spiritual guidance, like a lot of people do use tarot cards for. Some people believe that they are an amazing gateway to connect more with the supernatural, and also we can use them for spell casting as well. So that leads me to my next question. Can I use them for spells? Yes, you can definitely use tarot cards for spell work. I personally use tarot cards for spell work as well. Remember that tarot cards are basically symbols of all human experience. So if you have a certain spell that you would like to do, and if you use the reverse method as well, technically you have 156 cards to choose from. So you can pick any of the cards that relate to the type of spell that you are casting, and then obviously with anything else that you're using for the spell, you can use the tarot cards to work alongside other elements to create the spell that you would like to. So yes, you can use them for spells. I have previously used them for spells and I feel like they are very effective. So I mentioned that you can use tarot cards for meditation as well. So how can you use tarot cards for meditation, you may ask? You can do this by selecting a certain tarot card, again, that is something you would like to focus on, or whether you've just done a tarot reading and there's something you'd like to focus on more and get a bigger insight on. You can use it for meditation like that and use it while you're meditating. If you would like me to do a bigger episode on meditating with tarot cards or meditating with Wicca in general, I would really like to do an episode on that because I think it'd be really interesting. I think it's a bit more of like a larger subject to focus on than just like explaining it all in this episode. So yeah, what tarot deck do I have and where did I get it from? I actually use the most common and traditional set of tarot cards, which are the Raider White tarot cards. I actually bought it from a local shop that sold like crystals and stuff, but that is actually shut now and it's not the Angel Crystal shop. I assume you can get them from Amazon and local head shops or local crystal shops around you. So there's loads and loads of different websites you can go on, but typically the set that I have may not be the right set for you, which leads me to my next question. How do I find the right set of tarot cards for me? So I've had a lot of different tarot sets, from like angel tarot cards to different types of oracle cards to fairy tarot cards, and none of them had really felt right to me. But firstly, a lot of people do seem to be under the impression that you can use more than one tarot set at a time, which I think it's fine to own more than one tarot set as long as you only use one tarot set at a time. I feel like you connect with a tarot card set and that is how you get the most effective results with tarots. I feel like you need to find the right set of tarot cards for you. Don't just kind of go with the first set that you receive or buy. You need to focus on a set that you find like easiest to read, easiest to work with. Lots of people feel different ways, and the set that just kind of feels right to you, because that will definitely achieve the most effective results when it comes to tarot reading. Like I said, the deck that I have may not be the right one for you. You may pick it up and think, oh yeah, I can definitely read this, but then when you get down to it, you just think, this isn't right. I don't find it very easy to read. I haven't found anything that I've learned from them easy to pick up on, and you just won't like them. And again, that's fine. You can search further and you can find different tarot cards. There are so many types. When you do get a new tarot card set that you feel like it's right to use, I would definitely recommend on trying to connect with your tarot card set. This is going to sound absolutely crazy, so just bear with me for a second, but think of your tarot card set like it's a person and like you want to get to know this person. Let me explain myself before you unsubscribe and think I'm crazy. I feel like it's an extremely important thing to connect with your tarot cards though, because I think it makes your readings way more accurate than it would be if you don't. So the way that I did connect with my tarot cards is I used to carry them around with my bag with me for a couple of months, like every single place I went. So as soon as I left the house, I just pop it into my bag, and I did this for a few months. I also slept with it next to me in my bed, so I used to lay it on the pillow next to me, and I did this for a couple of months as well. Also, if you are Wiccan or you have an altar of some sort, because I feel like it's such a personal thing, I think it does help your tarot cards a lot if you place them in your altar. I did this and I do think that helped quite a lot to connect with them more. I do feel like it's a very personal space for a Wiccan, so I definitely do think it helped a lot. That's why I do think it's extremely important to only have one set so you can connect to your full potential with the set of tarot cards. So how often can you read your tarot cards? You can read your tarot cards literally as often as you want, but I definitely would avoid reading your tarot cards when you are highly emotional. Don't keep asking the same question and trying to draw more and more cards out on a certain subject. The tarots will answer the queries that you have on the subject the first time. Just try to trust the tarot cards. So just don't keep, you know, drawing the cards out because it just won't be accurate. It's definitely better to read your tarots when you're in a calm state. Even if you're feeling a little bit troubled, I definitely would still recommend being in the calmest state you possibly can. But if you do feel like you just need general guidance, you can read them as much as you like. But for me personally, I read my tarots at the minute probably twice a week. Sometimes I do tend to read them more when I feel like I need to read them more. And also if I have any subjects that I would like a better insight in, then I will do my tarot cards more as needed. There's some weeks where I read them every single day, and there's some weeks where I only read them once a week. It kind of just depends how much I feel like I need my tarot cards. I feel like the same should apply for you. If you feel like you have any situations that you may need guidance in, that's fine. Read them as they are needed. You know, if you feel like you need general guidance a lot, read them as needed. Do you have any recurring tarot cards? Yes, I do. I have tons and tons of recurring tarot cards, but there is 3 in particular that I have seen occur a lot more than any others, and that is the 3 of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers. And the Lovers have literally been recurring since I started doing tarot cards. It comes up like all the time. Have you had any worrying tarot cards, and are tarot cards dangerous? I think there's this like massive taboo around tarot cards being dangerous. Like a lot of people have said to me they don't want tarot cards near them and they don't want them in their house and blah 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 blah. But tarot cards are not dangerous or evil in any way, shape or form. Like I said, tarot cards are just guidelines and guidance in aspects and situations in life. So they can actually be extremely helpful with situations, and they kind of almost give you the power over negativity because they're giving you an insight into the negativity that may be coming. This does actually make tarot cards extremely safe to use. Even though they do have spiritual, negative and positive aspects, you have to remember they are just cards. They don't get like cursed by the devil when they come out of the machine, and they don't have like all these spirits like come down and be like fuck you and like turn them evil. It doesn't work like that. And yes, I have received tons and tons of negative cards, but I do have one recurring negative card, and again it is the Lovers, but it is reversed. So the Lovers card is typically about love and attraction, not so much about romance, but more about like trials overcome and love itself. But reversed, it does mean failure and foolish desires, and I do feel like this is something that I maybe need to work on in life, because when it comes to love and attraction and failure and foolish desires, I think it's probably my weak spot in some things. In case you guys weren't aware in what a reverse card is, when you draw the cards and you lay one down, if it is facing another way, it is called a reverse card. So the meaning of the card is different, or in some cases the absolute opposite of what it means. Just so you know, some that may seem dangerous aren't always dangerous. Just do your research on your cards, kids, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I really hope that answered some questions for you guys. The next part of the video will be a demonstration on how I use tarot cards. Again, this is personal. Lots of people use tarot cards in different ways. I mainly only do read my own tarot cards, which is why I use quite basic techniques. I have tried thousands and thousands of different techniques, but these are the 3 that I do use a lot. So I'm just going to be showing you a step-by-step of what I do with my tarot cards, you know, what I do before shuffling, how I shuffle them, you know, how I pick the cards, how I draw them, the ways I lay them out, and also how I read them. Does not mean that it will be the way that works best for you. Again, that's fine. You just have to keep working through ways until you find the best way that works with you. So before I start anything, I do make sure I'm in an extremely calm environment when I won't be interrupted if I'm by myself, obviously. Sometimes I choose to light a couple of candles and maybe sometimes have some crystals around the mood that I'm in. So before I do absolutely anything, I clear the cards from any energy that may have been absorbed. I do this almost every single time before using my cards, especially when other people have either touched my cards or I have used them for other people, which is rare, but I still like to do it just to get rid of any unwanted energy. So to do this, I hold the cards in the hand I usually don't write with, so it's the less dominant hand than the other, and with my leading hand, which is the more dominant hand, I knock the energy out of the cards. I do this by just clenching my hand into a fist and knocking the side of the cards a couple of times. So after that, I briefly touch a corner of my cards with my leading hand again. So take a deep breath and project all of your energy into your cards with these 2 fingers that I've laid on. I feel like this helps you focus and connect with the cards. I just do this for a few minutes, just until I feel like I have put as much as I possibly can into the cards. At this point, if I have a specific question that I need insight in, I would ask it now, and I tend to ask my questions out loud. But if I'm just doing a general reading, obviously I wouldn't be asking a question. So then I shuffle the cards. I shuffle the cards as I normally would, and I'm really crap at shuffling. Now, to realise the time that you should stop shuffling is either when there is a clump on the card, or when a card sticks out and it places the cards into 2 sections, or sometimes I just go with my intuition and I just feel like when I need to stop shuffling, I need to stop. So now I feel like I should stop shuffling the cards. This isn't an actual proper tarot reading. I just pick cards at random to demonstrate how I draw my cards. So there's loads of ways to draw your cards, and I strongly suggest you find your own way of drawing cards and whatever feels right for you, as this is a very important step. So a lot of people use the fanning motion to draw their cards out. Again, this is fine, but personally I do not. I hold the cards in my left dominant hand again, and then I slowly let the cards fall into my other hand, and when I see the card that I think is most noticeable to me and stands out the most, I take the rest of my cards that fall into my hand, put them underneath, so the top card that I've seen is the first card that I'm going to draw. So there are 3 formations that I use the most for reading my tarots. For a general reading, I would lay the cards out in 3. This represents the past, present and future, which can also be seen as the context, the focus and the outcome. This can be used for answering questions, but personally I prefer to go further into depth with tarots when I'm asking a specific question, so I tend to use the Celtic cross or the 8 card formation. So the 8 card layout I like to use for general readings and for specific questions. So this card is laid out as follows. The first card goes in the top centre, and this is the theme. The second card goes to the top left hand side, and this represents the past. The third card goes underneath, and this represents the present. The fourth card goes underneath, and that is the future. The fifth card goes underneath the first card, and this is the course of action you should take. The sixth card goes on the right hand bottom corner, and this is the influence. The seventh card goes above that, and this is your hopes/fears in the situation. And the 8th card is the outcome. And this is my favourite way of reading cards, is the 8 card formation. I just feel like it works the best for me. I feel like it is an enjoyable one to do, and I feel like it works better than the Celtic cross for me, even though again I do enjoy using the Celtic cross. So the last formation I will be showing you how to do, which you've probably heard from loads if you know anything about tarot cards, this is the Celtic cross. So this formation is made up of 10 cards. And again, for this card formation, I usually like to use this one for more specific questions that I have rather than just life in general, because I think it goes deeper into things. Card 1 goes in the center, and this represents the situation. Card 2 goes on the top and sideways, and this is the challenge that is affecting the situation. Card 3 goes underneath the first 2 cards and represents the basis of what is happening in the situation. Card 4 goes on the left hand side of the first card and represents the past and how it is affecting the situation. Card 5 goes above and is the present situation. Card 6 goes to the right of the middle cards and it is the near future. And card 7 is the right hand bottom side, and this represents the power that you have over the situation. Card 8 goes above that and represents the other people in the situation and how it is going to affect them. Card 9 goes above that and it represents your hopes and your fears. And card 10 goes above that and represents the outcome. I always lay my cards face up so that I can see the cards, and I read them in the order that I lay them down. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video all about tarot cards. I really hope you're enjoying the Enchanted Endeavours episodes. I definitely think I'm going to carry on with it. So if you guys did not see my first episode in my Enchanted Endeavours series, then I will link that down below. It is about crystals and I show you my crystal collection. So if you guys have not seen that, then you can go ahead and go to the drop down box and it will be there. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in my next video.